Hi, and welcome back to my blogs. Charr Savage, still punk after all these years. I got a couple of questions to answer today. Thank you for sending in your inquiries. I really appreciate it. First question, what bands were you in? And today I'm going to talk about the first band I was in called Gag Order. Now, I met at McVan's through the band called The Factor, a guy named Scott Davison. I had actually met him one night at a place called Uncle Sam's. And it was before I knew a real lot about punk. I didn't really know any punks. Well, they were playing the B-52's Rock Lobster, and he was doing The Worm, which I thought was ultra cool. Anyway, we ended up chatting and going out to his car for a few minutes and chatting some more. And that's how that goes. And anyway, I met up with him again at the Continental. And I had developed kind of a party house. An after hours, if you will. And he started coming over, and I had a boyfriend named Kevin Connors, and we all decided to form a band together. I didn't know how to play any instruments, so Scott Davison took me under his wing and taught me everything I needed to know about playing the bass. And basically what I was playing was where he told me to put my fingers. But it worked out well because we ended up having a great time doing that band. Then we met Johnny Williams, who became our guitar player, who was also a very cool guy. The day of our first show, we got a chance to play at McVan's, and I was living on Hurdle, but I was over at my mom's house. I went into my mom's bathroom, cut my hair into a perfect mohawk, and dyed it flaming red. When I walked into McVan's, everybody was shocked. Jimbo Freeland was the only guy that had a mohawk, and it turned out for a long time I was the only girl. So anyway, we played there, and it was really great. We went on to play places like the Continental, some places up in Canada, and that was a lot of fun until Kevin Connors decided to go to New York, and that was that. So I went on to play some other bands, but I'll tell you about that later. So my second question is from my daughter, Charr, and she asks, how could you tell the punks from the posers? Now, let me make this perfectly clear. True punk rockers are genuinely nice people. They don't go out looking for a fight. They all get along together, and they were nonviolent, totally nonviolent. Which is, I guess, a big misconception. I don't really know what the punks are like today, if they're like that. Later on, I'll tell you about hardcore punks, and they were a little different. But in our group, we were very nonviolent. And posers were the ones who came to look at the freaks and spoil them for a fight every time. And it was really hard for us to understand because we weren't like that. And they thought we were because of the way we dressed. Well, that's the difference. And you could tell, punk is an attitude of being free and being who you want to be. And posers were too afraid of what everybody else thinks. You know, that's all they thought about was, what's my father gonna think? What's my sister gonna think? And that wasn't the way we were. We didn't care what anybody else thought. And in the later years at Continental, the posers would, like once the music started, would push everybody together. Now slam dancing for real punks was non-violent, and the posers wanted to make it so. So they would push everybody together and just wreak havoc, you know. So that's the difference between punks and posers. We could tell right away the difference. So that's my blog for today. Please send me your questions. They're very interesting questions. And I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo!